Hi everybody, it's Maya, and it has been a minute since I have filmed something for you guys. It's been just under a month, and I apologize for that. It's not that I haven't been filming. I definitely have been. I have about 4 or 5 videos filmed, and I just kept refilming them because I didn't like the way they turned out, or my camera died and I had to use my phone, and I didn't want to upload that because the quality difference. However, here we are today and I look completely different. I actually just got my hair done yesterday. I went and I asked for a balayage, but I'm loving the way it's looking. It just looks so healthy, and yeah, it's just a balayage on my hair and I love it so much. What do you guys think? I wanted to come back in with a bang and review some of the new Undone Beauty products. They released some new shades in their water blush. They released a brand new bronzer. They have a brand new shade in their highlighter. As we know, Undone Beauty is no stranger to this channel. I have multiple videos on them already. But I just love them so much, and I have every single product that I own from them laid out right in front of me. So even if I'm not using it on my face today, I'm still going to show you guys all the products that I own, swatches, and little comments. So this is the perfect video if you have never heard of Undone Beauty before, or if you haven't seen my previous reviews from them. This is just kind of going to be a whole bunch up of every single product that I own with my opinion on it. So if you guys are interested in this video, then just keep on watching. Undone Beauty actually released some skincare, and they released this makeup remover mist. Let this focus. So yeah, this is just a mist, and basically it melts away your makeup, and then you rinse off your face and all your makeup comes off with it. This makeup remover mist leaves the skin so glowy. It doesn't make the skin feel stripped or anything. It just is really great for hydration, and they advertise this to use like before sleep. Most people want to remove their makeup before bed, so this is a really easy thing to do. Like if you want to skip your skincare routine, you can just spray this, rinse it off, no makeup. You can just go right to bed and you don't have to worry about a whole skincare routine that's going to take a long time. Okay, and then just for some skincare, I'm going to quickly throw on some primer and eyeshadow primer, and I'll be back to talk about the foundation because Undone Beauty does not carry a primer or eyeshadow primer. They have these unfoundation tints. They have a glow tint and they have a matte tint. Packaging wise, it is like the glow tint obviously has a smoother, more glowy exterior, and the matte tint is just matte, just so if you have both of them like I do, you can easily see which one is which. And also the matte one does say matte right here on top. Now I have 4 of these. So right here I have Porcelain Light. This is the glowy version, this is the matte version. I no longer use Porcelain Light because it is way too light on me. I had no idea what my shade was about a year ago when I purchased these, so I always thought I was the lightest shade. It turns out I'm not. So then they released new shades and I picked up Cream Light. I only own Cream Light in the glowy version. This works really well for me in the winter. However, it does leave a little bit of a white cast on my face. I tend to go in more with bronzer and stuff when I'm using this, because when I do go out in natural lighting, my face is a little bit lighter than my body. And then I also have the shade Latte Medium. My favorite YouTuber was doing a giveaway, Chessie. If you guys don't watch her, you definitely should. She has the best reviews. But she was doing a giveaway of products that didn't suit her anymore, like shade wise, and Latte Medium was a little bit too light on her. So I asked her if I could have it because the shade is a little bit too deep for me. However, I am mixing it in with my lighter shades just so I can really use everything up, because as you all know, I'm not going to use Porcelain Light on its own, so I just mix these two and it comes out pretty decent. So I'm taking a little bit of Porcelain Light, and then I'm going to take a little bit of Latte Medium, and this is probably too much foundation. I never know proportions, but I'm just going to mix the two just to create a custom shade for me to use. That is looking more peachy and definitely like it's gonna blend better. What I do like about the Undone Beauty unfoundations is that they are definitely like skin tints, so they're super sheer. You can apply a lot and it's never gonna look, you know, cakey on your skin. They just blend right into your skin and it looks super beautiful. So if y'all were wondering, like, this obviously is a lot of product, but I promise you it's not going to look cakey at all. And I'm going to go in with a sponge today. You can use a brush or a sponge. However, it's not really like too much of a difference. However, if you do go in with a sponge, you do run the risk of it soaking up a lot more. As you can see, that just blended out completely. Like, it doesn't really travel too far with the sponge because the sponge does like to eat it. But if you use a brush, you can definitely move it around a lot more and not really get more coverage. Like, you might get a little bit more coverage, but it's going to stay more on the lighter side. So it's really up to your preference what you would prefer, if you would want something that's going to give you just a little bit more, or if you want to stay more on the lighter side. Now, their concealers are definitely more fuller coverage, so I am going to use a little bit more concealer to balance everything. This is the skin up close. As you can see, it is completely just non-existent. Like, you can't see it sitting on the skin. It definitely like sinks in and gives you that perfect finish. For concealers, I have two shades. I have my original porcelain right here that I do use in the summertime when I like, sometimes my summer shades are a little bit too dark, like the foundations that I picked out, so I do use this to kind of tone them down a little bit. However, the shade that I think matches me to a T, and I want to buy this in the unfoundations, is Buttercream Medium. This is just my perfect shade, honestly. I'll hold them up side by side. So as you can see, the porcelain shade is definitely a little bit more cool toned, and buttercream is definitely more on the warm side. They both get the job done. I will be going in with buttercream medium today because I lost it for the longest time and I just found it today, so I'm excited for it all over again. Their concealers are separated by 3 different coverages. You have light, medium, and full coverage. I just kind of go in the middle, mostly towards light and medium. Just, you know, why not? But yeah, as you can see, this buttercream medium shade is just perfect. It looks a little bit light right now, only because it is a lot of a fuller coverage than the unfoundation. So if you were deciding between the two, if you want to get the unfoundations or the concealers, I will always recommend getting the concealer because you have 3 different coverages and it comes in this convenient cream packaging. Like, it's just more convenient. Like, you can definitely bring this around for touch-ups throughout the day. However, yeah, if you want to get both, get both. I always prefer the concealer though. I tend to wear this on its own more than anything because I love the way it looks on the skin just by itself. Now I know I look crazy, but I'm going to take my sponge and just blend this into the skin. But yeah, now you can definitely see it covered up all that redness. Just an up close, again, just so you can see how this is looking on the skin. Undone Beauty is just really perfect for looking like skin. Moving on to bronzer, they have there's a hair in this. They have their water bronzers, and I have mine in the shade 210 Baked. So they released their water line, so they came out with bronzer, blush, and highlights in this formula. And this looks like it's gonna be just that color. It's really not. When you go to swatch it, it definitely is more sheer. Looking at the water bronzers on their website is a little bit confusing, only because the shades, like, they don't really go in order of like lightest to darkest. It goes by undertone. So that's how I picked this one. So that's Baked. You can definitely swipe this onto your face. However, because the formula is a little bit wet, it's not like a cream bronzer where you can just swipe it on and it transfers pigment. Because these are more sheer, it does tend to lift up the foundation. So I just like to go in with a brush. So I'm taking this e.l.f. bronzer brush and I'm gonna just stipple that where I want some warmth. And it definitely is buildable. However, I love these formulas because they're so, it's so hard to explain this formula. Like, it's not a liquid and it's not a cream, it's just kind of like there. Like, it's very cooling. It always feels so cold when you put it onto the skin, but I kind of like that. So you know the blend is always going to like look seamless. So I'll take that on the nose and then a little bit onto the forehead. And that just gave us a very neutral bronze. You can definitely, like I said, put it directly onto your skin. I will show you on the nose because I don't really apply too much foundation on the nose. You just blend it out like that. However, that's really subtle. If you're looking for a subtle bronzer, I will recommend these. There's obviously a lot of better cream bronzers out there, but if you want something more subtle and buildable and unique, I recommend the water bronzer. For blushes, I am going to be going in with the water blushes today. However, Undone Beauty does have their lip to cheek palettes. These are also their cream blushes. I love their cream blushes so much, so I'm going to show you guys all of my shades that I own. I am not going to be using them on the lips either today because I do have newer lip products I want to show you. However, if you were interested in seeing these in action, I do have more videos where I do use these blushes because they are just my favorite. So first, this is the shade Dahlia. This is definitely more of like a pinkier blush, not too berry, not too pink, but just kind of a mixture of the two. These also work just like the concealer, so you have light, medium, and then full coverage. I just kind of swirl right in the middle because it's a blush, so I'm going to take this and then swatch that here. That is the shade Dahlia. And then I'm going to swatch Berry right next to it just to show you guys the difference. This was my first ever blush by Undone Beauty. I loved it. I still love it. I don't know. This is the shade Berry. So as you can see in color, Dahlia is definitely a more muted version of Berry. Berry has more purple in there, but they still pretty much, if you're wearing this on your cheeks, they're going to give off very similar vibes. Next we have Blazing, which the shade is definitely more of a corally color. I used to hate this shade. I never used to wear this shade of blush. However, I fell in love with it pretty recently because I was really into like peaches and corals. But that is Blazing. So it's definitely more of like a corally red kind of shade. Not too orange, not too pink, not red, but definitely a mixture of all of those. And then lastly, I have the shade Rosewood. For me, Rosewood definitely has been like my bronzer shade. Before I had the water bronzer, I used Rosewood to bronze. So I might, no, I was going to do it, but I'm not because I have a lot of cheek products that I'm going to use today. But this is definitely more of like that rosy brown kind of color. It's so stunning. And that's Rosewood. So I definitely have a wide range of the colors. I love all of these so much. The formulas are to die for. I have yet to find a cream blush that is this pigmented and this beautiful. The Milani cream blushes are definitely very similar. However, no one will do it like Undone Beauty. You have 3 different coverages with those blushes, and they wear really well on the lips and they look beautiful on the cheeks. But next we're going to talk about their new water blushes. So I have 2 shades. I have their original shade and their newer shade. So when they released their water blushes, they came out I think with 2 shades, or I think it was just this one raspberry color. I love this shade. It is just a super vibrant pink color. Like this is the perfect spring color. Like, look at that. And you can also wear these on their lips. They are not like advertised like that. However, I always like to throw them on just for a little bit of a tint. I am wearing a little bit of chapstick, so I'm not gonna swipe this shade. I might swipe a little bit of the new one. This is the shade Cherry. They just released this as well as their peach shade. I didn't pick up the peach because, you know, I'm trying to save my coin and not buy every single shade that comes out. But yeah, this is the new Cherry shade. It is not a true red, but it's definitely more of like a pinkier red. It is really gorgeous though. The formula of it is the exact same as the water bronzer. However, these do stain a lot, so if you were worried about the longevity of these because it has the word water in it, don't. Once they're on your skin and you like push them into your skin and like they sit for a second, they do set down and they do last. So if you were worried about that, don't worry. So I'm going to be creating a little bit of an ombre blush moment. I know that's very in right now. I've been seeing it everywhere. So I'm going to take raspberry on the cheeks and I'm going to take cherry more towards this area. And I'm going to pick up some raspberry just so you guys can see both in action. And the water blushes are a little bit more pigmented than the bronzer. At least that's my experience with them. So I'm going to take this like basically on the apples, and this shade is beautiful for the spring. Now I'm going to take cherry and same brush, swipe a little bit because this one's kind of more pigmented, and I'm going to focus that more towards this area just to sort of lift the face. I like having the best of both worlds when it comes to my blush. I like putting it on my apples, but I also like doing the lifted effect. I definitely recommend working with a brush. You just have more control and you know for sure it's not going to lift up your makeup. Undone Beauty has their Under Over powder and I have mine in the shade Light. This is my third purchase of this powder. I have fallen in love with this powder. It is everything that I want in a setting powder. I don't know, whenever I apply this powder, my skin just always looks so natural. It doesn't mattify the skin like crazy. As you can see, it definitely does smooth and mattify like just enough. But if you do have glow coming through your skin, it's not going to mask that glow. That's why I love the Rare Beauty powder that they just released, because it has almost the same effect, just in a loose powder form. And this is just a pressed powder. I love this powder because instantly, as soon as you apply it, the skin just feels set, but it doesn't look dry, never looks cakey. I will always rely on this powder because it was the first powder that I really truly fell in love with. So water highlights, exact same formula as the water blush, and they have 3 shades of this. The original shade was Rose Lit. This was the only shade that they had for a while, and it is just like this pinky rose highlight. I'll swatch it on this hand actually. I think this shade is very flattering on my skin tone and almost all skin tones. Ignore that scratch. It does look a little bit dark when I lean to the side, however it doesn't leave a dark cast on my skin. It is very universal, I feel like, and it goes with a lot of looks because it's pink. I feel like that could be a warm or cool thing. But then they also have their shade, I think it's Gold Lit, I'm pretty sure. I don't have that one. That's just meant to be for more warmer skin tones. I don't really wear gold highlights too much anymore because they leave a dark cast. But then they just released Cool Lit. I thought this was going to be an icy white highlight, but it's actually holographic, as you can see with the packaging. I did not realize that. I'm not mad at it at all, but it definitely has a holographic glow to it. So I'm going to swatch that right next to it. And as you can see, it has like that purpley blue reflect in there, and it is really stunning, but it doesn't really go with my makeup half the time. Usually I go in straight on my face with this. I'm not going to be doing that today. I just don't want to disrupt the makeup. So I'm going to take a brush and pick up Rose Lit. It's been a while since I actually used this too. But this highlight is always so stunning. It is definitely very sheer as well, but it's really pretty. But you can take it on your fingers and actually just press it into the skin for a little bit of a more intense glow. That's always an option, and you don't really ever see it sitting on top of the skin, and the shimmers in there are very minimal. It's not like chunky or anything. The next product is so beautiful, and y'all are gonna scream when you see this. It is the most perfect thing for summer and spring, and it is Undone Beauty's new Sunset Bronzer. When I saw this on the website, I was all for it. Like, so it comes with 2 blushes, and then these are like basically highlights, or they're supposed to be highlights, but they're definitely more like bronzers, because as you can see, it definitely has like a dark cast. Now this top blush shade has a shimmer throughout it. This one is matte. This is definitely more of like a shimmery gold, and this one is a bit of a chunkier champagne. So what I do is I just swipe it all together and I put it on my cheeks, and it is so pretty. It's very intense, but it is really pretty. If you don't want too much highlight, you can just go in with the blush shades, but if you do want that, I just swipe it. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm just going to take my brush and just swipe down, and it does look very, very intense when I put this on, but that glow that it gives, it is so, so beautiful. I don't know why they named it the Sunset Bronzer, because there's really no bronzy shades. Like, there's no brown bronzy shade in the palette, but they should have just called it like a sunset blush or something like that. And if you love blush like I do, especially glowy blushes, this is for you. If you prefer more matte blushes, then I would skip this. I mean, there is the matte blush shade right here, but I love when a blush has glow throughout it. That's just one less step for me. With applying highlight, I can just have it all in one. Undone Beauty does have these little, they do have eyeshadow palettes. I never picked them up just because I'm not obsessed with the shade stories, but they do have these creator quads. I have 2 shades here. I have Pastel Me Everything and then Herd of Paradise, and unfortunately I am not obsessed with either of them. It's just, I really thought I was gonna love this color story. I saw it online and I was like, wow, that looks perfect, because I thought this green shade was just gonna be, I mean, the green shade is beautiful, but all the other shades are not giving. This one is not pigmented, this one's not pigmented, this one barely shows. Like, the pigment in these, like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, you need to like use your fingers, because a brush will not do it. But I'm not gonna waste my time, because none of these really go with the shade. Like, it would kind of just not make sense as a look altogether. And I am wearing a red lip today, so I'm just going to go in with this as my eyeshadow. I'm just taking those 2 pink shades mixed together and bringing it throughout my crease. Now, I don't mind this being buildable because it is advertised as a blush bronzer, so you know, usually those 2 things are already buildable. However, an eyeshadow doesn't really have that much pigment. I would just rather be without it. And I really tried giving those eyeshadow palettes a chance. It's just, I have so many eyeshadow palettes and I don't want to spend forever on my eyes. And I feel like I always need to dabble into other shades to really create something that I'm in love with. I know a lot of people do like those creator quads. They do have a bunch of shades, so maybe I need to try something that has a little bit deeper shades to really see the pigment and get more use out of it. I could have picked up like the neutral one. I'm pretty sure they have a neutral one. And they also have like an all pink one that I think would have also been better for me. I just wanted to be adventurous and try the crazy ones. Just picking up that highlighter shade just as my base color. Okay, those are the eyes. Just a cute little sunset golden moment. I do have their flawless brow, and I did used to use the pen side as my eyeliner. However, it is more dried out now, so it's not as pigmented as it was before. However, I do recommend this for an eyeliner. It's just I've had it for so long. So I'm just going in with one of my other eyeliners just to create the wing for today. Also for mascara, Undone Beauty did have a mascara that I was obsessed with. However, it dried out by now. I had that for a while. And yeah, it dried out, so I can't use their mascara. If you're looking for a mascara that's a little bit more on the cheaper side, then yeah, the Indie Lash by Undone Beauty is pretty good. The wand is a little bit, you have to get used to it for sure. But yeah, I just recommend other mascaras over that one. So I'm going to be going in with the Flower Beauty Warrior Princess for today because I'm pretty sure it's in like a similar price range. Okay, lashes could be a lot, bigger, but I didn't want to do anything too crazy, so I just kept it on the one coat side. For brows, like I said, they have their Flawless Brow. So on this side they have the pen. This is also in the shade dark brown. And the pen is very much out of ink, so you can't really do much with it right now. However, when it's brand new, it's phenomenal. It still produces something, so it does look like there is some sort of pigment behind my brows. It's just not as concentrated, so I can't create brow strokes. Or usually what I do is I like to line underneath my brow and then take the other side, which is the brow gel, and this brow gel is more on the messier side. So if you are heavy-handed or if you have a hard time with brow gels, this one is a little difficult because the wand is very flimsy, so it's really easy to like get this gel all over. As the product has dried out, I have been loving it a lot more because it's not as fresh as it once was. So this is the Forever Lip, and I have mine in the shade Tan. Basically, it's a lip liner on one side and then like a marker on the other side to be like your perfect lip combo. It's a great concept. I don't like the applicators, so this side is like the lip liner. It is a marker, and the tip is kind of run out, and then the end of it is pigmented, and that's a really thick line. So like, because the tip is run out, it's really hard for me to like get a really nice lip line. And then this side is fatter, so it's a marker tip. However, it ran out of ink, and I don't really ever use this product. I never really use this product. I used it maybe like 3 times and it's ran out. However, as you can see, it does stay pretty nicely. I won't be using it today though, just because I do not really like it. It did not work for me. It's a great concept. I just wish the lip liner side was a pencil and not a marker. However, Undone Beauty has these Matte Talk lipsticks, and they also have their light on lipsticks, which are like the dewier versions. So these are still creamy and comfortable on the lips, but they are matte. So I have 2 shades. I don't know if this shade is new or if I just thought it, I don't think it's new, but I just picked it up. So I have this shade right here, which is Flamingo, and then I have the bottom shade, which is Velveteen. Flamingo is more of like a hot fire truck. Almost, it's very hot, and it's like a hot pink red. It's gorgeous in the spring and summer. Then you have Velveteen, which is more of a, it's not a true red, but it's more of a deeper red color. Both are stunning, and I've used Flamingo in a video before, so I'm gonna go with Velveteen because it is my newest. So they're not like super pigmented. They're definitely like buildable and more like lip balmy, like feeling on the lips, but it just looks so pretty. Cuts Velveteen, and I might just go with a little bit of flamingo on top. Why not? Just for like a pop. See how bright that is? It's just so pretty. And it looks matte, but it feels really smooth and feels creamy. And it's just so comfortable. And I think it goes really well with the cheeks and the eyes. And then our final product by Undone Beauty is their Big Pop of Gloss. I did originally have the shade Watermelon Rose, but I lost that one. It was just kind of like a sheer pink color. It was really pretty, but this one is going to be just a staple for me all summer long, rocking that red lip, but not without like committing to red lip. This is in the shade Cherry Blossom, and all of these have like a fruity watermelon kind of scent and taste to them. Just like, look at that wand. It's just so chunky and beautiful, and the pigment is just there. Like, just look at that pigment. I'm gonna tone it down with my finger, and this is the finished look of a full face of Undone Beauty using all their new products and all of their old products. What do you guys think? I think that my skin just looks so fresh and so radiant and just ready for summer and spring. You don't really see any makeup sitting on the skin at all, other than this huge shine from the blush that just gives off a nice juicy effect to the cheeks. I love how natural the eyes are using that blush palette. I love pop of color on the lips. You know, everything about Undone Beauty's brand is just so me. I love Undone Beauty. She wants to bite today. Crazy girly. Literally all day she's been biting me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a big fat like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel just so we can keep growing and I can keep posting and all of that, and comment what you guys thought. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week.